Good evening, everyone. This is Mohammad Waqas from Nagoya Institute of Technology, and today I'm going to present my paper, which is titled as Comparison of Image Feature Description for Diagnosis of Leaf Diseases. We know that early detection of plant diseases is very important for the efficient disease management. In particular, the plant viral diseases are extremely dangerous in the field because due to the spread of other crops in the same field, and due to such viral diseases, annual crop losses have been attributed to worldwide at $60 billion. And in order to avoid the impact of such diseases, the expensive approach and the use of pesticides are some solutions. And the primary mean of control is the use of various chemicals, but chemical mean further damage and intensify the cost of production and result in major monetary loss. So to overcome this problem, the early discovery of diseases as they occur is very important for the efficient disease management. And the common method is the manual inspection by the experts and other methods like land-based method. But these methods are very time consuming and there is always possibility of misjudgment. And recently, the agriculture industries have demanded technologies for the automatic discovery and diagnosis of plant diseases with high speed, accuracy, and low cost. In response to this demand, we approach this problem from an engineering viewpoint and to automate this process by using image processing technology. And plants, the disease symptoms appear in different parts of plants, such as leaves, stems, and roots. Among them, leaves are often used as clues for diagnosing disease symptoms, and leaf observation with the camera is more accessible than stems and roots. And therefore, we propose a method that detects and classifies diseases appeared on a certain leaf by targeting crops whose symptoms appear on leaf. This slide explains the previous approaches considered by the researcher, and traditionally the two very commonly and extensively used approaches were GLCM and STDM, but these methods are not invariant to external factors which may add during the image acquisition, and these methods are computationally very expensive. However, recently, a very cutting-edge method such as CNN, which had been widely used by the researcher due to its high classification performance, and they showed with CNN, it showed a very prominent realization of the automatic discovery and diagnosis of leaf diseases. However, much memory processing and high power is still the issue remain unsolved with CNN2. The automatic diagnosis in the plant leaf disease is always affected by a large number of external factors, such as the atmospheric condition, leaf overlap, the effect of light, shadow, checking of leaves 2 to 1, and camera position. So the conventional method rely on a large data set of field images, which cover these issues, but newly extracted issues such as high computational cost and storage cost is which is unrealistic for the business as created. So our method is based on the efficient invariant image feature description, which are robust against these external factors, and these efficient feature descriptor can keep very low computation and storage cost. This slide explains the methodology of our proposed system. We have investigated various feature descriptors such as SEP, SORF, ORB, CASE, and accelerated CASE. And then for classification, we have used Canon's clustering and TF-IDF for the classification of leaf diseases. So the first descriptor which we have investigated is SEPT, which stands for the Scale Invariant Feature Transform. The idea of SEPT is the image content is represented by a set of local features that are invariant to translation, rotation, scanning, and other imaging parameters. And SEPT detects always key points in a Gaussian scale space using a difference of Gaussian operator. And for detected key point, 128-dimensional descriptor, which is based on the gradient orientation histogram, which is computed according to our dominant orientation. And you can see in a SEPT, there is too much difference of Gaussian processing involved, which makes the SEPT a little bit slower. So SERP accelerate the difference of Gaussian processing, which makes the SERP several times faster than SEPT and is more robust against different image transformation. And the reason is that it is based on the sum of 2D wavelet responses using integral images that approximate Gaussian derivatives, and in this case, the detector approximates the determinant of Hessian responses, and the descriptor in this case is a 64-dimensional vector that sums the first order wavelet responses over a 4x4 rectangular grid, rotated and scaled with respect to a dominant orientation and scale. And then another descriptor which we investigated is ORB, which is stand for the oriented fast and rotated brief. It is based on fast and brief, and it basically adds rotation and scale invariance to brief and detects efficient key points using fast and Harris corner detector and Gaussian pyramid. And since the fast is not rotation invariant, so ORB uses the intensity centroid technique to make it rotation invariant, and the brief descriptor and ORB has a weakness in orientation performance, so it was improved by computing a rotation matrix using the orientation of patches, and then the ORB then creates a stereo version of brief according to that orientation. So the last two descriptors are Gaussian and accelerated Gaussian. Since many approaches are based on the Gaussian scale space for feature detection and description, such as SEPTEM, which is based on the Gaussian scale space, and SURF, which approximate the Gaussian derivatives with box filter. So with these approaches, the Gaussian blurring doesn't respect the natural boundaries of the objects and smooths to the same degree both the details on noise at all scale levels. So the price for this to pay is for the detection and localization accuracy. So the question is, why not making blurring locally adaptive to the image data so that noise will be blurred but details will remain unaffected? And the solution for that is nonlinear diffusion printing using additive operating splitting scheme and fast explicit diffusion scheme. Then for classification, we have used the K-means clustering, which clustered the extracted invariant features. And for our experimental results, we have used the value for case 250 in order to create a visual vocabulary of 250. And then we used a very commonly used technique, TF-IDF, which calculate the most frequently occurring visual words. And TF-IDF, the term TF means a visual word has a high frequency of occurrence in an image and indicate that these visual words can represent the content of the image well. And the IDF is calculated that retrieves some common words that appear very frequently in each image, but these words do not represent the content of the image well, so these words should be given a lower weight. Finally, the weight of TF and IDF is calculated by multiplying them and assign them to a bigger visual word vector, and then we classify the bigger visual word that ultimately classify the leaf images. For evaluating the robustness of each feature descriptor, we have applied several invariance test cases to each feature descriptor. So, and the first invariant test case is scale invariant test, and you can see the performance of each feature descriptor in this graph. Similarly, we have applied the blur invariance test, and you can see the performance of each feature descriptor. And similarly, this is the brightness invariance test, and this is the rotation invariance test. And at last, we have also applied the key point matching test, and you can see we have in this image we have two same disease category images but different images, and you can see with each feature descriptor we have applied the key point matching test. And at last, in order to evaluate the performance of each feature descriptor based upon the computational cost, the number of total key points extracted, and accuracy, you can see that SEPT has the highest performance in terms of accuracy, then SURF as the second highest for accuracy, and ACASE is the third highest accuracy. And you can also see that with the accelerated CASE, which is 7 times faster than SEPT and SURF, and it's 5 times faster than ORB, And you can also see that with Akaze, the accuracy is slightly comparable to the accept and serve. So therefore, we justify that accelerated Akaze is the most efficient feature description for the diagnosis of leaf diseases. This slide explains the conclusion and future work. In this study, we have classified 680 plant leaf images into 7 different classes, and then we extracted features from lesion on the leaf image using invariant image feature descriptor. Then we used K-means clustering and FIDF to make the bigger visual work. We then compared the performance of each feature descriptor by applying various test cases and key point matching tests. However, the major limitation of our proposed system is sometimes it maps the irrelevant interest point during the clustering process, which may reduce the accuracy of the system. And moreover, the proposed method manually learn the parameters of the encoder during the clustering, which we plan to include in our future work. So thank you for listening to our presentation. Thank you for your kind attention.